What's going on, Dolphins? It is your boy Dillon. Sorry I'm getting this out to you a little late today. It's kind of just how things played out. But I got a few things I want to talk about. I have a press conference for you from Adam Gase, so I have that at the end. But there's some things I need to talk about. So first and foremost, I had some comments about it. People are talking about it and everything. And that's the penalty on Kiko Alonso. So I have the video for you. I'm going to show it to you here. So as you watch this, go ahead and, take a look. I mean, you can see for yourself. Everybody has their own opinions. But in this video that you will see, the Dolphins, the Colts had the ball. It was like, 4 yards from the first down line. They hiked the ball. They almost got our defensive lineman to jump off sides, which would have gave him first down, but he didn't. He caught himself barely, right? Andrew Luck starts the play. He can't find anybody open. He scrambles, and you'll see the replay here in this clip as well. As before he even slides, Kiko Alonso is, diving to make the tackle. He starts his motion prior to Andrew Luck starting his motion. And when he realizes that Andrew Luck is sliding, he lets up. That's why he puts his arms back. So the commentary, which, it was ridiculous. The commentary was, oh, well, if he thought that, or he thought that if he, put his arms back, that it wouldn't. Yeah, of course. He was trying to make it as blatantly obvious to everybody that he's doing what he can to let up on this guy so he doesn't hurt him. He was already in the tackling motion. There was nothing that he could have done. Absolutely nothing that he could have done. And then he actually did everything in his power to outwardly show, to the best of his ability, that he's not trying to do anything. All he was trying to do was just make the tackle. He's not trying to hurt anybody. So it was because, and then they get a first down, and then they go get a touchdown. It was 7-7 at this point in the game. They score, and then from that point on, it was basically, we kept ourselves in it. We tied the game up and stuff like that. But that was it. That was the deciding factor, because had that not happened, Andrew Luck would have been short, right? And then they would have punted us the ball, because they would have been safe, because he was a good yard or so shy. They could have gone for it. Okay, sure, maybe they would have got it, whatever, but odds are they probably would have punted us the ball because of where they were, blah, blah, blah. They were still a ways away. It was still early. They don't want to be, more often than not, people don't, be overly, or aren't overly aggressive. Coaches and stuff aren't overly aggressive at that point, or whatever. So, but I just wanted to show, because the tape shows that there's nothing he could have done. Right? He didn't start his tackle after Andrew Luck went to slide. He tried to make sure he didn't drop all his body weight on him. He tried not to, whatever. And here's the thing too, right? Because he did kind of hit him a little bit around his body, his chest, kind of hit him a little bit around the head area. But you know how he may have been able to actually prevent hitting Andrew Luck's head? By using his arms. Because he could have put his arms out, and to the ground, right? And pushed himself away from Andrew Luck's head. But he's trying to do everything he could to show everybody in the refs that, hey, look, I'm not trying to, hurt this guy. And literally a split-second decision. He made a split-second decision. And he put his arms up to say, hey, look, I'm just trying to make the tackle. I'm not trying to hurt nobody. But he gets called for the flag anyway. They get 15 yards. So they got 15 yards, a first down, which I think that 15 yards put them over the 50, right? So into our territory. And then they get the first down. They go score a touchdown. And that was it. If they didn't score that one touchdown, they would have probably punted us the ball. Maybe we would have scored, maybe we wouldn't. But they would not have had that touchdown. They won 27-24. Take 7 points off of their score. Dolphins win 24-0. So, look, you know, people can try and say what they want, but the rules are fucked up. The rules are completely fucked up right now. You know, and look, I understand. I like seeing points scored. I like seeing high-scoring offenses and stuff, but I don't want it to take away from what football is. It's a I'm sorry, man. Look, I want the game to be safe too, right? So, you know, improve upon things like the equipment that they wear, the pads that they wear, and the helmets that they wear, right? Sports science, that's good stuff. You know, they have all this stuff now to monitor, you know, guys as they're playing. They can help, they can try and maybe prevent injuries from happening before they happen, right? You have techniques and form on like how to tackle and stuff like that. Good stuff, right? There are some rules like, you know, horse collar tackling. Good, right? You know, contacting the quarterback to the head and neck area, right? I get it, right? There are some things, but the one of just dropping your body weight on a quarterback, I mean, come on, that is as stupid as it gets. It's football. What are you supposed to do? Stop being so biased. And look, the only reason why, I'll put it to you like this, it's like all of these, I hate to, you know, use politics, but it's like these Republican politicians and these establishment Democrats, right? They only want, they have this illusion of doing things for you, right? The fans. So, you know, they say, oh, well, they're first of all, they say that they're trying to make it safer, which is not even true. It's not even true. So we lost William Hayes for the entire year, which was a major impact. Our run defense would be so much better right now and throughout the season if William Hayes was still active and on the team. Okay, we lose him because he tried to do exactly what Kiko Alonso just did in this past game. He tried to obviously, you know, make it so that way he didn't get called for a roughing the passer penalty, but in doing that, he tears his ACL and he's out for the season. So it actually hurt somebody as opposed to keeping anybody safe. And even, who was it? It wasn't Kirk Cousins. Who was it? It was, was it? No, it wasn't. Damn it. I can't remember. Oh, it was Derek Carr, because it was in the Raiders game. Derek Carr had even said afterwards, I wish he just would have landed on me. Yeah, okay. Well, you know, there's a lot, you can say that in retrospect, right? So it's all about money. They don't really care, right? If the fans cared about defense, right? If all the fans gave a shit about was stopping offenses, getting interceptions and turnovers and stuff like that, it would be completely different, right? They wouldn't have the rules set up in such a way that it's biased towards the offense. And look, anybody, you know, I told you guys, I had a little debate with a friend of mine, one of my best friends about this, and he was defending it because he's like, well, that's how it is, and they want to sell tickets, and they want, you know, whatever. Dude, I'm sorry, that argument is weak. It's super weak because the way that it's designed right now, it's super biased towards the offense, and it gets defensive players hurt, and it's taking away from the game, you know. And aside from that, it decides games. It decides games as well. It makes this officiating just absolutely ridiculous and absolutely insane. And then it literally decides games, right? So, and the reason why I can confidently say that that is what decided this game was because aside from that, it was pretty even across the board. Both teams played well on offense and defense. We both had turnovers. We had the ball for approximately the same time. You know, we were overall even on penalties, right? So everything matched up. God damn it, if it was just an even fucking matchup across without the bullshit officiating, we would have won the game. And that is the one thing that decided the game, right? So, and because also too, there was other, you know, bad officiating in the game on both sides. Like I said, I am being fair on both sides, right? So I mean that is a huge problem. It's a huge problem, and it's just money based. It's all based off of money. That's all the NFL cares about. Do not let them lie to you, and do not believe their lies and saying that, oh, well, it's for player safety. It's horseshit. Most of the time it's horseshit. Think about it. This is the same NFL that literally hid the science behind CTE so that way they wouldn't have to deal with it. Like, come on, people. Like, I mean, seriously. It's obvious. It's blatant. It's out there. Okay? So that's why I told you the first two things, the two main things that have caused our season to go this way, one is injuries, okay, which, by the way, I already told you Danny Amendola had come out in the game and didn't come out in the rest of it, or didn't come back into the game for the rest of it. I think he came out in like the first quarter, maybe the second. And Adam Gase said today he's probably not going to practice at all this week because he's a bit banged up. So we'll see. Who knows? We might be down, and it's with that response. I'm not saying it's very likely, but it's possible we might not even have Amendola for the Bills game. So, I mean, if we don't have him, that's another receiver down, right? Our entire receiver core is different. It was Leonte Carew and Bryce Butler, and I mean, obviously we still had Stills and Amendola, but Amendola ended up having to come out, right? Travis Swanson, our center, he ended up having to come out as well. I totally forgot about that. And same thing for him. Gase said he's a bit roughed up too. And, so who knows? Who knows what his availability is going to be like? And then the officiating. The officiating is terrible. It's absolutely terrible, and it's destroying the game. It's a physical fucking game, man. You gotta let these guys play. And you can't have a bias on one side of the football. That's absolutely ridiculous. It's absolutely insane. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy, man. Again, I hate to put it into like political terms, but it's political, right? It's political because they are setting the rules so that way they can benefit. It's not really for the fans. It's an illusion, just like the whole guise of safety. It's an illusion. They say, they can say whatever the fuck they want, but the truth of the matter is that, okay, sure, it might please the fans. Absolutely. We love it. And then, of course, the media drums it up because that's their job, right? They're supposed to support that stuff so that way, because why? Because their sponsors are the same people that they drum up. So they get money from these people. It's all about money, 100%, unequivocally, without question, about money. It's not about the fans. It's not. And they're destroying the game. They're destroying what football really is. So I had this funny example. I know it's not exactly the same. Times were very different and the sports are a bit different. But it's like so the example I had was the Roman Colosseum. So I'll put it like this, since it's very biased towards the offense, I'll put it like this. Let's say in the Roman Colosseum, and this will actually make the example a little bit better than what I had it before. So in this example, let's take the Roman Colosseum. Let's say, right, in the Colosseum there's a champion, and obviously the king, queen, the fucking, the rulers or whatever, the Roman Empire, the emperor, right? There we go. The Roman emperor, he's got his champion, and then you have all these other guys come out, right, with, whatever, to challenge him. If he sent them out with a piece of wood for a shield and a piece of wood for a sword, a wooden sword against this dude, it would be like that. It would literally be like that, right? Obviously not literally. Again, two different sports, but the concept is the same. It's completely if they set the rules so that all challengers had to go out with a wooden sword and a wooden shield versus this dude's, metal shield and his armor, and they don't get to wear no armor and shit like that, right? And frankly, I'm actually pretty sure that stuff like that did happen. Not the wooden sword and shield. I'm pretty sure they gave them, real swords. But I wouldn't be surprised if they were blunt, if they didn't have sharp edges, right? So you can't do that, man. You can't do that. You can't do that. And again, the safety thing is complete bullshit because people are getting hurt anyway. And they're getting hurt not just anyway, but because of it. Right? And it's mostly defensive players, dude. It's absolutely insane. I mean, what are these defensive players supposed to do? What are they supposed to do? You can't hit for shit. You can't touch anybody. Because with the way that the rules are, and I know that there are a lot of offensive players that are actually not like this. You know, one of our ex-wide receivers, Jarvis Landry, was a very physical, tough player, right? But it's making the offense seem like they're just snowflakes, like they're just little pansies, because you can't fucking touch them. You can't touch them. Otherwise, you're going to get flagged for this, that, and the other. You know, so many of these pass interference calls are ridiculous, man. Let these fucking guys play. Let them fucking hand fight. Unless it's like a blatant, obvious, you know, the defender grabs both the dude's arms and fucking straight holds him, or like grabs him by the legs and just straight trips him up. I mean, okay, that's legitimate. But Jesus Christ, man, let these fucking guys play. It's insane. Anyway, so I hope you get the point there. With the whole rules thing, it's destroying the game, and it's under this guise of player safety and for the fans, because they want it to be, you know, spectacular. And sure, we'll get the results of you know, high scoring games. In fact, this year, through this many games of the season, there have been record-breaking touchdowns thrown and record-breaking number of points scored. And so, I mean, sure, you get those results, but then the cost is there's defenses just can't do shit. They're not allowed to. You have terrible officiating, and people are getting hurt because of the rules. So, I don't know about you guys, but that's not the football that I grew up with. That's not the football that I love, okay? And it's, you know, even my buddy, he was like, yeah, it sucks, and I wish it wasn't like that, but it is what it is. So yeah, you know, I can say, oh, well, it is what it is. But that shit needs to change, man. It's fucking crap. It's absolutely crap. All right, having said all that, I want to move on to something else. This whole thing about, you know, because people keep talking so much shit, man. People need to calm down. Like, people get all up in their emotions. I'm in my emotions right now, but I am, you know, I came into this video already being, you know, expecting to kind of go off on a rant a little bit, but I'm passionate about it, but I'm directing it towards, you know, the things, the real things, right? The things that are actually causing, you know, the problems, not just for our team, but in the NFL as a whole, right? The NFL needs to fix this shit, right? So, but anyway, my point is that people are going after Gase. Oh, Gase needs to be fired. He needs to blah, 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 whatever. We need to completely reset. Burke needs to be fired. No, dude, calm down. Jesus. I can't understand how any fan thinks it's a good idea that when things don't go well in the early stages of a new regime, it's a good idea to completely emotionally lose control, start freaking out, and say, let's hit the reset button. Seriously, if you hit the reset button on your life every year or two, how the fuck do you think your life is gonna go? Seriously, think about that shit. If you hit the fucking reset button, and I apologize for the cursing, but I am passionate about these things because people need to fucking... I understand you get emotional. If you can't control it, at least for the love of anything that you hold dear, direct it in the right direction, okay? Focus it in the right direction. It's not at Adam Gase. I'll give you this much. If anything, I'll say that maybe Adam Gase should give up his play calling. And it's not necessarily because I disagree with his play calling. First and foremost, again, none of us are there, okay? So we're just spectators, we're just couch coaches. We can only, you know, give our opinions, but frankly, our opinions are for the most of us, are seriously invalid. Why? Because we're not NFL coaches. Most of us are not coaches, period. A good portion of us haven't even ever played the goddamn game, so we don't have any room to say. Plus, they have to make split-second decisions. Adam Gase is dealing with an incredibly decimated offense. Incredibly decimated offense. What do you think that does to his play calling? We saw it open up in this game from the previous games with Brock Osweiler because Tannehill was back. But we lose our center in that game. We lose one of our best, most reliable receivers in Amendola, right? Our running back gets banged up. Other guys are getting banged up. We're already 10 deep on the IR, and a bunch of other guys across the board are playing injured. What do you want the dude to do? What do you want him to do? Seriously. And frankly, it doesn't matter what you want him to do, because you're not there and you don't really have a fucking say in it. Nor do I. So, to anybody watching this, don't think that I'm directing it towards you personally, and not everybody even feels like they should be fired. But I'm just trying to get the point across that is not the proper way to channel your anger and your frustration and your emotions. That is not the proper way. Okay? This front office and coaching staff, with everything that they have had to deal with over the past 3 years as a unit together, have done phenomenally well. It could be so much worse. It could be so much worse. Last year we could have gone 1-15, and this year we could be, we could already be 3 and I don't know, what would that be? 3-9, I think. Yeah. Right? Yeah. 3-9. So, I mean, come on, dude. Things always could be worse. And like I said, you gotta be realistic about it, man. You gotta be realistic. You got to be realistic about what the root causes actually are, and if you're looking at everything realistically, because again, I've said this before, people they like to take one thing and just hone in on that one part of the equation, right? So without question, not a single person. I mean, I know there are people that would, but there's not a single person that can deny that. You take a simple equation, right? You take an equation which is composed of and comprised of certain variables, and you add those, multiply them, subtract them, blah, 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 right? They are whatever they are, so whatever the action is, but in a general life perspective, you add all those variables together, and then they equal something. You get an outcome, right? So there are reasons for why things are going the way they are going. And again, primary number one is this team is the most injured, decimated team in the league. That's the number one reason. What is this coaching staff supposed to do? They have done, because again, and I understand everybody gets injured, it's not supposed to be an excuse, next man up mentality, but when you're down to like, your practice squad and pulling dudes off the street, I'm sorry, but there comes a point, there's a line drawn in the sand in which injuries are no longer or are a major contributing factor, right? A deciding factor, right? And a point in which you can realistically use it as a goddamn excuse. Because, I mean, what do you want to do? Literally, if you have to be pulling guys off the street, Bryce Butler just came in. He had like 1 week of practice. What the fuck are you supposed to do? And what is Gase supposed to do? How is he supposed to call plays? He doesn't even know the dude. He doesn't even know him. So, what? And he had like a week of practice. What kind of plays is he supposed to call for him? And then again, we're already on our backup center. We lose him in that game. We're already down like 5 receivers. We lose a receiver. I just don't understand what people want. Like, please, guys, just let's be realistic about it, man. Let's be realistic about it. Okay? I'm as frustrated as you are. I'm as disappointed as you are. I'm as ready to have a Chiefs or a Rams quality team on a year in, year out basis as you are. I am. But we need to direct our feelings, our emotions in the right way and towards the right things, right? First and foremost, you can't let it just completely rule you, right? So what I mean by that is a lot of people, at the end of the day, their final point and their end point is to be upset, to be super pessimistic, super critical. It's all the people that are like calling for the reset button after just 3 years, for the love of God, and all of the things we've had to deal with in those 3 years. You know, and all the firings and this, that, and the other. It's people like that, right? So just calm down, right? Or you have people like me who make the choice to be optimistic at the end of the day. Like me, I choose to say that, you know what? We are going, even if we lose, we have 5 games left. Even if we lose our next 4 games, right? And we get to that Buffalo Bills game. Clearly at that point, we're not going to be in the hunt for the playoffs, but I'm still going to be like, oh, but you know what? We can go out there and we can whoop up on the Bills, you know, blah, blah, blah. And I'm going to be like, okay, next year we're going to get everybody healthy. We're going to have another good draft, because these past 3 drafts have been pretty damn good overall, right? We've got, you know, we've got some good staples for years to come, and we've made some good offseason moves. No franchise gets everything perfect. Okay, but we've got good staples. Kenyon Drake, Kalen Ballage, I think, is going to do good things for us. Minka Fitzpatrick, Kiko Alonso has been playing really well. We've got him for the next several years. Bobby McCain, right? Laramie Tunsil is coming into his own. He hasn't let up a sack this entire season. We brought in Albert Wilson. We got Jakeem Grant, right? We got a lot of Xavier Howard, right? So Devon Godshaw and Vincent Taylor have been doing good things. Vincent Taylor, of course, is on IR right now. Okay? So, I mean, Jesus Christ, dude, just people, we need to relax, and we need to stay optimistic. It's not, you know, it's not good to live your life, you know, defaulting to despair. It's not. You know, it's not good when you default to, you know, anger and frustration and being upset. Make the choice, man. We all have that choice. We all have the power and the ability to say, you know what? We're knocked down and it sucks, but we're going to get up and we're going to keep fighting. We chose to be Dolphins fans. You made that choice, right? And some of you might say, well, I was raised a Dolphins fan. Yeah, but you chose to stay being a Dolphins fan, right? You didn't, when you got a mind of your own and started, you know, looking at the other teams, you didn't be like, hey, Mom and Dad, I love the Dolphins. I grew up with them, but I think I like this other team and I want to be that fan. You didn't do that, right? We chose to be Dolphins fans. So either stop watching football and stop being a fan, or let's fucking buck up, okay? As one of my current favorite politicians likes to say, let's knuckle up, man. Come on, guys. Let's get it together. Let's stop erring on the side of pessimism and negative emotions. Let's choose, as Dolphins fans, because again, we chose this team. Let's choose to support them. I know it sucks. I know it hurts. But if you're a grown person, right? If you're a person that is intellectual, you should be able to control your emotions, right? And again, I'm not perfect. I am no way, shape, or form perfect. I have in the past, you know, even hurt myself because I get all, not majorly, but, you know, I hurt myself because I'll punch a wall or something and I'll bruise my knuckles. In fact, you know, most recently I couldn't work out for a month because I did fracture my hand bad enough, right? And I'm trying as a person to continue to grow and not do things like that. But we got to channel our emotions properly, and we got to make the choice to back our squad, to back our team, and to be positive fans, not negative fans, right? Because one final point before I go ahead and send you off to this, you know, this press conference. The law of attraction, right? If you live your life based on, you know, negativity, that's what you're gonna get. If all you do is think about and focus on negative things, that's all you're gonna get. You're just gonna continue to get more negativity. We gotta be positive, guys. We gotta perk up. We gotta bounce back. And I think, look, you know, I mean, I'll be realistic with you guys. If we're gonna make it to the playoffs, we have to win at least 4 of these last 5 games, and then we gotta have some things break our way. That's for sure. That's true. However, I'm thinking we probably have to win the rest. We probably have to sweep, and we have to make it to 10 wins if we're going to have any chance to make it to the playoffs. That's being realistic. But having said that, even if we don't, it's not the end of the world. Okay? We're going to get healthy. We're hopefully, we'll have another good draft. And, next year, all of those key contributors that we had going into this year will come back and we'll do good things next year. But for now, we got the Bills coming up on Sunday. It's a game we can win. Let's get some of these sour tastes out of our mouth. Let's, like I said, buck up, let's get ready, and let's take on these Bills, and let's come away with that W. Let's get back to 500, 6-6, and damn it, let's sweep, because then we got the Patriots after that. But it's a home game for us. We've historically, given them trouble. It's a game we can win. We've got, the struggling Jags at home. We got the Bills in the last game of the season, and then sandwiched in there we got the Vikings. But they're all games we could win. So, damn it, let's go out and do it. That's me choosing to be optimistic and not pessimistic about the entire situation. So join me and let's get on that train, man. All right. So with that, guys, I am gonna send you off to this press conference. I know this video ended up being super long, but I had a bunch of things I had to say. So, yeah. So I hope you enjoyed it, though. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I know not everybody's going to agree with me and whatever on the things that I had to say, but that's okay. At least at the end of the day, the thing that I want people to take away is just positivity. Positivity, positivity, positivity. Let's not be so negative. Let's not let our emotions get carried away with us and start being like, oh, let's fire everybody. Right? Let's not do that. Let's not do that. Right? Because if in 2 years, right, next year, if we end up going, 11-5 or whatever and have a spectacular season, and then we start, making it to the playoffs every year, everybody's going to be like, see, we just needed to give this coaching staff time to get its culture and get the players they want and vibe and gel and mesh and install their systems and blah, 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 blah. And not have catastrophic injuries all year long, and offensive line coaches snorting coke and linebackers going AWOL and hurricanes displacing us, right? So yeah, positivity, guys. Positivity. It's all about positivity. So with that, I'm out of here. I hope you enjoyed the show. If you did, please, please, please hit the subscribe button. Excuse me. If you want the alerts, make sure you hit the bell. Hit the like button as well. I really appreciate that. Make sure that you leave your questions, comments, and concerns down in the comment section. I love interacting with you guys no matter what your, take is on all of this stuff. And especially, other fans too. I had a Colts fan come chime in, so it's cool. I love that stuff, so please do that. Also, follow me on Twitter, @Dillon Tartaro. And with that, guys, I am out. I'll see y'all soon. Fins up.
I know obviously the one at the 6, but there was one at the 25. Or do you say all these people are wrong, I did the right thing?
I mean, we did what we game planned to do. We did what was best for that situation. I'm probably more upset about the second down call. Thought we'd catch them in a pressure to that side, and they came from the opposite side. And if I could have that one back, that probably could have made a difference.
Ryan's last 10 throws, all in the second half, were all short passes. Was there anything physically that factored into that, or that was complete game plan stuff?
Well, I mean, there's a reason why their defense is playing well right now is they don't give up big plays. Like the one we got at the end of the half is unusual. I mean, you can't find a whole bunch of explosive plays in their passing game. I mean, their defense is built for you to score through the goal line. That's kind of why we stay up here and do what we have to do, because we actually know what they're doing.
How did Ryan come through physically?
It's fine. Probably a couple of shots that didn't feel good, but he's fine.
What are the updates on Amendola and Swanson?
We'll have to get through the week. He probably won't practice most of the week. Try to give him a shot on Friday, see what they can do and how they feel. But that's really as far as I'll know. I won't really know till we get to the weekend.
Is either one more likely than the other?
Neither one of them are in great shape right now.
What's your message going to be to the club? It seemed I wasn't in the post-game locker room, but there was a lot of anger there from all the comments I read.
Yeah, I mean, when you lose, it sucks. So, we'd left too many opportunities on the field. You can't do that when, you're playing a team that's pretty hot, and, we shot ourselves in the foot too many times, and then come down to those last couple drives, and then, it looks like we're going to have Luck sacked, and they're going to be on their own 33 or 34, and they're going to be punting back to us, and we're going to have a minute something left. Go win the game. That was kind of the plan when we punted it, was we need one good play on defense, and Matt was punting the ball good all day, and we had a chance and we missed it.
Somebody got loose on that one play during the drive before the airborne touchdown. What was maybe the call, or what happened there?
We just didn't execute the call correctly. We overlapped on coverage, allowed him to get free.
And starting Durham and going to him early, simply a function of something you saw in the Colts defense, or has he been practicing especially well recently?
We got a lot of different packages with the tight ends, and that just was, you can look at starting and stuff like that, it doesn't mean anything, but he has been practicing well. He's been doing a lot of good stuff. He has really, the entire season, he keeps getting better. Ball went there because coverage dictated it.
I think about 22, 23 snaps for Devontae. Did you want to be cautious with him because of the shoulder?
No, it was just the personnel groupings. That was just, we had a specific way we wanted to attack him, and a lot of things went well, and we didn't do some things right. So, we were scrambling a little bit there when Danny went down. It's not really ideal when we moved Kenny inside, and, we don't have Danny in, and now Kenny's going to play a spot. It's really not his natural spot, and, we're just not that deep right now to where we can start moving all these guys around and switching positions.
Adam, is Kiko always on the punt block team? And what did you see on that play that he?
It's just specific things that we do where, sometimes defensive guys stay out there. It was just, him making a good play. I don't think a lot of times when we do stuff, you're hoping for something like that to happen, but it doesn't always. But it's just unfortunate we couldn't take advantage of it.
Not from a health standpoint on Ryan, but on a performance standpoint, was that as good as you could have expected after 5-6 weeks off?
I thought he played well. He executed what we asked him to do. There's some things we want to clean up, which are, more technical than anything. It was, the biggest thing for us was we knew we had to put drives together. Like, it was not going to be a team where you're going to get 3-4 plays and it's going to be a touchdown. They just haven't done that. I think it's something like 44% of their drives were like 10 or more plays that were scoring drives last year or this year. It's been like they've done a great job of forcing you to play the way that they want you to play.
How's Kenny doing health-wise?
He's all right. We just fell on that shoulder again, I think. That's why he was down.
Is he going to be limited in practice this week?
They'll probably just, him and Devontae will keep the same protocol as what we did last week.
How'd you grade the run defense overall? Did you see any progress there?
We just don't, with the explosive plays, we just got to eliminate those. They hurt us so bad. And it just one guy coming out of his gap. We just got to keep tightening it up. I think a couple times they caught us, and they had a good call against what we had called, which that's going to happen. I can live with that. It's just when we have a good call and we don't execute it, that's when it's tough.
And how much of that was there in the fourth quarter?
As far as what they called compared to, I thought Matt called a really good game. I thought he made it really tough on them. We got turnovers, and it's not like they've been. Andrew hasn't really been throwing picks. So I think the way that they had a game plan, the way that we execute for the majority of the game was good. If we can just eliminate these explosive plays, that'll help us a lot. If we can just make teams have to drive on us, because they'll eventually as we see every week, you know, the offense will screw it up.
What were your thoughts on the wild sequence at the end of the first half when there were so many turnovers in a row?
And I was happy about two of them. One of them I was not so happy. I felt good. I thought we were gonna score there and just really flip the game. And then when we turn it over, it's a killer.
In the Swanson situation, any contingency plans for practice this week in terms of moving guys around?
Yeah, we'll get through that. We've kind of talked about it a little bit, but nothing's in stone yet.
How'd your line do in your mind after Travis went out?
Well, I mean, we were trying to shuffle some things around and figure out what was the best lineup to go with. And then once we got settled on that, you know, there was some good, there was some bad. We kind of fell apart there at the end, but, you know, in the middle, Travis probably played 5 or 6 plays where he was hurt. You know, we kind of missed an opportunity on one of those where he was pulling, couldn't really run, was trying to run. So, you know, we left a lot out there.
What's your sense of the overall mood of the team, 5 and 6 with 5 to go now?
Well, I mean, you're disappointing because you got 2 games where you're sitting there going like, well, 5 and 6, 7 and 4. So it's a shitty feeling.
5 games left. Here comes December. Is this a particularly tough one to regroup from?
Now, the good thing about NFL players is once we hit Wednesday, they really don't care about last week, which is probably better that they're like that compared to the coaches. So we'll sit and think and dwell and all that stuff. These guys will do a good job of moving on, go to practice and work hard and get after it on Wednesday. And our focus just needs to be to one game. How do we win one game? It's probably good that we're home. Got a great opportunity. Just kind of get back to 500, and we just got to focus on ourselves. Can't worry about anybody else.
What kind of December team do you think this one's going to be? That's where culture comes in. You talked about it.
Yeah, we'll find out. You know, guys that we got, we'll battle. I thought they played hard yesterday. It was unfortunate we lost that game because I really thought there was a lot of guys that did good stuff. It's just hard to see right now because, you know, everybody does the same thing. Everybody goes and looks at the result, you know, and all the good things get forgotten about. So that's where we can't get lost in it as a team. We got to focus on the things that we did improve on, the things that we didn't, we need to get better at, and then we have to figure out a way to win this week.
Is it particularly hard because not only was a loss, but against the team you're battling for
I mean, it doesn't matter. Like I'm probably the only one that really needs to worry about stuff like that. The rest of those guys, they don't care. They're worried about like winning that game. They're not sitting there looking at the standings going, "Oh, here's where we're at." We win our games and try to take care of our business, and let the chips fall where they may. But you know, in my spot, you're going, okay, do we just lose the control of our own destiny? But they don't need to worry about that stuff.
You kind of look back to the Bengals game just now. If Ryan didn't get hurt, do you kind of look back at the last 6 games overall?
Because I mean, we had opportunities, you know, but you know, we won a couple games that, you know, we had good games, a couple games, whether it be offense, defense, special teams. You know, it is what it is. You just hate when you're up and you lose a lead and you know what you left on the field. You know some of the situational stuff that didn't get done right.
A measure of encouragement when young players develop what you've seen from Leonte. His last 2 games, special teams 2 weeks ago, and then today, take some pride in that young player's development.
I'm glad that he got an opportunity. I know that was great to see him just go up and get one. I don't think we've done that enough to where, you know, we've had moments where, you know, a guy you don't expect goes up and gets ball like that. You know, the more we have guys do that, the more confidence Ryan, you know, has at throwing the ball down the field when it's a 50-50 jump ball. That's ideal.
Alright guys, you've reached the end of my video. This is the end of the interviews. I hope you enjoyed those. I hope you enjoyed my show. Also, as a whole, if you did, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you hit the bell if you want to get the alerts. Make sure you hit the like button. And please share your questions, comments, and concerns down in the comment section. I love interacting with you guys. It's for you. This is for you. And also follow me on Twitter at Dillon Tartaro. It's on the end screen. My Twitter handle is on the end screen if you need to know it. And with that, guys, I'm out. I'll see y'all soon. Fins up.